And the government spending is like bankrupting the country. Our interest payments on the national debt now exceed the Defense Department budget. So, which is the Defense Department budget is like $1 trillion a year. Interest payments on the national debt are now higher than the Defense Department budget, and growing like every month. So it's not like basically we're on a path to bankruptcy. America's on a path to bankruptcy. So we have to cut government spending, or we're just going to go bankrupt, just like a person would if that overspends.
Elon Musk's words on the Joe Rogan podcast were a bombshell. America is on a path to bankruptcy. His blunt assessment that interest payments on the U.S. national debt now exceed even the Defense Department's $1 trillion budget puts the gravity of the crisis into sharp focus. But Musk isn't just pointing out problems. He has a bold plan to tackle America's debt head-on. Today, on Economy Explorer, we're diving into Musk's ambitious vision to reform government spending, eliminate waste, and reverse the deficit. From his financial backing of Trump's campaign to his rumored role as head of government efficiency, Musk's involvement could transform how the government handles its finances. What's his plan, and could it work? Before we dive in, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Economy Explorer. This is one story you can't afford to miss. The national debt crisis, a looming threat. In 2024, the U.S. faces a financial reality that's impossible to ignore. For the first time in history, the interest payments on the national debt, money the government owes its creditors, have surpassed $1 trillion annually. To put that into perspective, these payments now exceed the entire Defense Department budget, which covers everything from military salaries to advanced weaponry. This staggering figure highlights the deep hole the nation is digging itself into. What's worse, with rising interest rates, the cost of this debt is only growing, putting immense pressure on every other area of government spending. So how did we get here? Since 2000, the U.S. government has consistently spent more than it earns, leading to a growing deficit year after year. Think of it like maxing out a credit card, not just once, but repeatedly, while paying only the minimum amount due. Eventually, the interest builds up to the point where paying it off becomes impossible. And that's exactly where we are now. Every year, a larger slice of federal revenue goes towards servicing debt instead of funding critical programs like education, healthcare, or infrastructure. The numbers are shocking, but the implications are even more profound. This isn't just an abstract issue for economists to debate. It's a crisis that could affect everyone, from taxpayers burdened with higher taxes to future generations who might inherit an economy on the brink of collapse. What happens if the government can no longer borrow to cover its expenses? The ripple effects could destabilize the global economy, and yet solutions seem elusive. Elon Musk, however, has proposed a path forward, one that involves slashing government inefficiency and rethinking how public funds are spent. But what qualifies him to take on such a colossal challenge? And why has he invested so heavily in Donald Trump's re-election? Let's take a closer look at Musk's unique approach in the next section. Elon Musk's vision for government efficiency. Elon Musk has never shied away from audacious goals. From revolutionizing electric vehicles with Tesla to pioneering reusable rockets at SpaceX, he's built a reputation as someone who tackles seemingly insurmountable challenges. Now, Musk is setting his sights on one of the most complex problems of all: the inefficiency of the U.S. government and its ballooning national debt. His proposed solution? A sweeping overhaul of how public funds are managed, starting with the creation of a Department of Government Efficiency. This new initiative, which Musk himself humorously nicknamed Doge, aims to root out waste and streamline operations across federal agencies. Musk has often referred to the federal government as a target-rich environment for inefficiency, with countless layers of bureaucracy stifling productivity and draining resources. His plan focuses on auditing government programs, identifying unnecessary expenditures, and reallocating funds toward essential services. It's a business approach applied to governance, inspired by Musk's success in drastically cutting costs at his companies while improving outcomes. For instance, Tesla's supply chain optimizations have not only increased profitability, but also made electric vehicles more affordable. Musk wants to bring the same mindset to Washington. One of the most pressing goals of the DOGE initiative is to reduce the U.S. deficit by addressing the root causes of overspending. Musk has proposed consolidating redundant government agencies, a move he argues will not only save money, but also eliminate red tape that hampers progress. He's pointed out that the federal government itself doesn't even have an accurate count of its own agencies. Some estimates suggest there are more than 450. By streamlining these operations, Musk believes the government could operate more like a lean, efficient startup. But this isn't just about cutting costs. Musk also advocates for fostering innovation within government projects, ensuring taxpayer dollars fund programs that deliver tangible benefits. His goal isn't to weaken government, it's to make it more effective. Yet, as promising as these ideas may sound, they come with their own set of challenges, especially when it comes to balancing reform with political realities. In the next section, we'll explore the controversies surrounding Musk's plan and the potential roadblocks that could stand in the way of its success. Stay tuned as we delve into the risks and rewards of this ambitious vision. Potential impacts and controversies, a double-edged sword. Elon Musk's plan to tackle the inefficiencies of the U.S. government has been met with both praise and skepticism. While his innovative approach promises to revolutionize how public funds are managed, it also raises critical questions about its feasibility and potential consequences. On one hand, supporters argue that Musk's track record speaks for itself. He has consistently turned struggling ventures into thriving enterprises. On the other hand, critics question whether the same strategies that work in private companies can translate to the vast, complex machinery of the federal government. One of the most significant potential benefits of Musk's plan is its focus on reducing wasteful spending. If successful, this could free up billions of dollars for vital programs like healthcare, education, and infrastructure. The idea of a leaner, more efficient government is appealing, especially in a country grappling with mounting debt. But this vision also comes with trade-offs. Consolidating agencies and cutting programs may lead to job losses for thousands of federal employees, a reality that Musk has acknowledged but downplayed. His suggestion of offering severance packages and encouraging displaced workers to find roles in more productive industries might make sense economically, but it's a tough sell politically and socially. Another major controversy stems from Musk's dual role as both a reformer and a businessman. His extensive financial interests in companies like Tesla, SpaceX, and X create a potential conflict of interest. Critics fear that Musk's influence over government policy could benefit his ventures, particularly if deregulation becomes a key part of his efficiency strategy. For example, his long-standing frustrations with agencies like the FAA and NHTSA, which regulate aerospace and automotive safety, could lead to concerns about bias in his decision-making. And then there's the question of public trust. Can a billionaire like Musk, who already wields enormous power in the private sector, be trusted to prioritize the public good over personal gain? His defenders argue that his contributions to innovation and sustainability make him uniquely qualified to lead these reforms. However, detractors warn that concentrating so much influence in one individual could set a dangerous precedent. The stakes couldn't be higher. Musk's ideas have the potential to reshape the U.S. government for generations to come, but they also risk sparking fierce debates about equity, fairness, and accountability. As we explore these challenges, one thing becomes clear. Elon Musk's journey into politics is just beginning, and the road ahead promises to be anything but smooth. Historical and political implications. A bold step or risky precedent. Throughout history, moments of great economic challenge have often called for extraordinary leadership. Franklin D. Roosevelt's New Deal emerged in the shadow of the Great Depression, while Ronald Reagan's sweeping tax reforms sought to revive a struggling economy in the 1980s. Today, Elon Musk's foray into government reform invites comparisons to these transformative periods. His plan to overhaul inefficiencies in Washington isn't just a matter of dollars and cents. It's a bold attempt to redefine the relationship between private innovation and public administration. But unlike Roosevelt or Reagan, Musk isn't a career politician. He's a billionaire entrepreneur stepping into a realm governed by deeply entrenched systems and centuries of tradition. His entry marks a rare, perhaps unprecedented shift, where a private sector innovator assumes a direct role in shaping federal policy. This raises a key question. Could Musk's business acumen breathe fresh life into a stagnant bureaucracy, or does his lack of political experience make him an unlikely candidate to lead such reform? For some, Musk's leadership recalls figures like Andrew Carnegie or Henry Ford, industrial titans who use their influence to reshape society. For others, it sparks fears of unchecked corporate power infiltrating the democratic process. Politically, Musk's involvement in Donald Trump's administration represents a striking alliance. Trump's re-election campaign leaned heavily on promises of economic revitalization, and Musk's endorsement, with millions poured into campaign funding, cemented his role as a central figure in this vision. However, this partnership is not without its controversies. Critics argue that Musk's close ties to the president may blur the lines between governance and personal gain, especially if policies emerge that benefit Musk's enterprises. Historically, reform efforts that challenge entrenched systems often meet fierce resistance. Musk's plan is no exception. Reducing bureaucratic inefficiency and consolidating government agencies could alienate career politicians and civil servants wary of losing influence. Yet, this friction might also spark a larger debate about the future of governance itself. Should the U.S. embrace a more corporate-style approach to running the country, or does that risk undermining the principles of transparency and accountability? These historical and political questions don't just set the stage for Musk's current initiatives, they highlight the immense stakes of his proposed changes. In the coming years, the outcomes of Musk's efforts could either stand as a revolutionary moment in American history or a cautionary tale of ambition colliding with reality. Reflections on Elon Musk's vision. Elon Musk's vision for tackling the U.S. national debt is bold, unconventional, and undoubtedly polarizing. By proposing to slash inefficiencies, consolidate agencies, and rethink how public funds are managed, Musk is not just aiming to fix a fiscal crisis. He's challenging the very fabric of how governance operates in America. But will his entrepreneurial mindset and corporate strategy succeed in this vastly different landscape? That remains to be seen. What's clear is that Musk has ignited a critical conversation about the future of government, one that impacts every taxpayer and citizen. As we wrap up, consider this. Could Musk's radical ideas inspire a new era of governance, or are we risking too much by putting so much power in one individual's hands? Share your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear your perspective. And if you found this video thought-provoking, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Economy Explorer. Together, let's explore the bold ideas and tough questions shaping our economy and our world. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.